inside for Albert. Albert will get the score. Fiddler, his farewell. He captain to a legend and probably rugby league immortality. That's not a try, that's a miracle.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Rugby League Guru podcast. Team List Tuesday has just dropped for round 9 Magic Round up there in Vegas. We'll be there on Thursday onwards. Cannot wait to see you all at the bloke meet and greet. I believe that's Saturday, 12 till 2 at the one and only the Caxton Hotel. If you are looking for me outside of that, you can bet your dick I'll probably be at the Caxton in the car park, floating around, doing something, having a great time. Honestly, the best week of the year, I think, is fair. Vegas is special and I love it. But Magic Round with all you fucking lunatics up there, it doesn't really get better. So let's rip into the team list for this week. Bringing back in Kat Haddad off a one that turned into 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, no, I almost feel like it was I was suspended or something, but it wasn't. It was all my own doing.
Yeah, it was a club-enforced punishment, but she's back now.
Yeah.
Very good to see. Now you've got an easy job today. All games at Suncorp Stadium.
I know. I feel like you don't really need me today, but I'm happy to be back anyway. So shall we... Let's get started.
Let's do the damn thing.
All right. Game 1 for Magic Round. Friday, 6 p.m. We have the Sharks versus the Eels.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. Good way to open Magic Round. The Parramatta Eels obviously coming off a bye for them. Guymer has been named on the edge. We've obviously got Kelmer. He's out with a suspension and Katoga's on the other side. Outside of that for the Eels, no other changes. Mitch Moses and Jack Williams made their returns before the bye in the side once again, coming off a really good win before the bye. Can you see how Parramatta go? For the Cronulla Sharks, Iro, he returns at centre, which is good to see. Shout out to him as well. I believe he's had a name change, just KL Iro, the 2 letters, which I absolutely love. Vibey little motherfucker he is, so this doesn't shock me. Very, very keen to see it. And Hamlin Nuele, he has also been brought onto the bench. They've had Toby Rudolph's got injured. Hal Tapoa, he's off the bench as well. So Hamlin Nuele will jump onto the bench there. That is your Friday 6 p.m. game. Late game Friday night, Kat, talk to me.
Roosters versus Dolphins. This one kicks off at 8:05 p.m. at Suncorp Stadium.
Thank you. Not much doing for the Chooks. They are 1-17, the same side that had a really good win last week on Anzac Day. For the Dolphins, Jeremy Marshall-King returns at 9. Huge in for the Finn there. You've got Felice Kafusi who moves to prop. Obviously, Daniel Saifidi out for a couple of weeks with an injury. And Donahoe, he is in jersey 14. He returns, I believe, rolled his ankle last week at the captain's run. Has been named. We'll see if he makes it. The big news, though, no Max Plath to be seen. I was under the understanding that he would play this week. I thought he was a chance to play last week. So really interesting watch with Maxi Plath, especially with Origin incoming. Not even getting a spot on the extended, which means they've completely ruled him out this week. Not even a game they have to travel for anything, just up the highway at Suncorp Stadium. So very, very interesting watch there with Maxi Plath. Super Saturday, Cat. This one's at 3 p.m. You can go straight from the bloke meet and greet 12 to 2 and you can roll straight into this game to watch.
Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing.
You are going to be doing that.
The Rabbitohs versus the Knights kick off at 3 p.m. Game of the round. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, the Rabbitohs, a lot of changes here. Gray, he moves to fullback. Obviously, Latrell Mitchell out of this one. Aitken, he moves to the centres because Jack Whiten has moved to 5'8". Campbell Graham will be partnering you and Aitken in the centres. Jack Whiten at 5'8", as we said. Duncan moves to the edge. I'm excited. I hope he just gets 80 minutes. They let Talis Duncan go. And then you've got Jair in 13. The bench for the Bunnies, LeBlanc, Lockie Hubner returns, Moali and Myers. Worth noting, Schuster's on the extended. Had a few. Well, I only saw the highlights, but geez, he had some good touches in reserve grade last week. Some freakish touches. I think it was him versus Bryce Cartwright, and the two of them put on an absolute show. Also worth noting, Dodd's on the extended bench. Latrell's out, Cody's out. That shifts the entire spine all over the place, and Dodd's still not getting a bait in this side. I will say this about this Rabbitohs team. It screams to me late changes. I think this is a team list that's worth watching as the week goes on. I'd be pretty surprised if they run out with this 1-17. So keep an eye out. For the Knights, Cogger remains in jersey 7, but Tyson Gamble's on the extended bench, so keep an eye on for a change there. Frizzell's in 13. Elliott returns on the bench, but big news from a Supercoach point of view, Thomas Cart. He is not in the 17. He's dropped dropped out of the side, which he had a pretty high break even. I think he was actually going to lose money this week. What it means is you actually don't have to make a move on him this week unless he comes into the side late. If he doesn't, though, it actually saves us a bit of a headache, in my opinion. So it might be time to move on to Dylan Egan or someone like that. We'll have Timmy Williams in here a little bit later tonight. We'll be recording Beers and Break Evens, 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, where we'll take a deep dive into that. But that's probably the big Supercoach news this week. Thomas Cant not in the side as it stands. 5:30 game. Talk to me, Kat.
5:30 game. We have the Warriors taking on the Cowboys.
For the Wires, Nia Corre, he moves to prop. Capewell on the edge. Tamare Martin on the bench. The Cowboys off the back of a very impressive win last week. They're 1-17 as well. No changes there. So not a stack to talk about from that game. Not much doing from a Supercoach point of view as well. The Warriors still waiting for a lot of guys to return, but this week is not the week. Late game Saturday night, Kat.
Late game Saturday, the Tigers versus Dragons.
For the Tigers, they are 1-17 off the back of their big win at Leichhardt Oval. No changes to that side. For the Dragons, some huge changes here. Ilias has been dropped from the side. King Togia, he comes in at jersey 7, doing really well in New South Wales Cup. The two halves there are right at the top of the list for try assists. A very, very talented kid, a very different direction. But that right side, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them get a little bit more ball with this kid coming into the side. Egan has been named to start. Flanagan does this fuckery every week where he names on the bench, he starts. He's just naming him to start now. Interesting, Hamish Stewart in jersey 13, Jack DeBellin in jersey 15. Now, what catches my eye there is about 8 weeks ago when Hamish Stewart's name was being floated around, I didn't know too much about him, and I do remember Sowie said he reminds me of Isaiah Yeo, and only a few weeks later, he's starting in jersey 13, DeBellin off the bench. I'm not sure if it'll be Hamish Stewart or Egan that's the big winner out of this. One of the two will be, but it is an interesting watch this weekend. Hamish Stewart in the 13, Jack DeBellin coming off the bench. All right, Sunday footy, Cat, 3 games. Talk to me.
All right, Sunday action kicks off with the Titans taking on the Bulldogs.
This one's at 1:50 p.m, so make sure you are there early for Magic Round, 1:50 p.m, not the normal 2 o'clock, I believe it is. For the Titans, Fafita, good God, move to the extended bench. A bit hard to work out what's going on here with Dave Fafita. Onto the extended bench, Pahulu, he comes onto the bench. Maybe Desi's just trying to stick a bit of a rocket up Fafita. Wouldn't shock me at all if he is a late change, but the optics are very, very weird there with Fafita. For the Bulldogs, they've got a few outs. Hayward, he will start in the 5'8 jersey. Morin, he will be on the bench. Wild how good the Bulldogs have gone this year, and Morin hasn't played too much. Very excited to see him back in. And Blake Taff also gets his opportunity coming off the bench. If I was the Perth Bears, I would be watching Bailey Hayward very closely. He'd be one of the first guys I'd look to sign. I think he'd be an unreal value signing for teams out there. 4:05 p.m. Sunday, Cat. Let's go.
All right, Sunday 4:05, we have the Panthers taking on the Broncos.
For the Panthers, Garner has been moved to centre. Liam Henry starts at prop. Tolau comes into the side in jersey 14. Watched him play New South Wales Cup about 2 weeks ago. Looked really good. The interesting news here is Casey McLean is dropped. Now, he did have a charge on the weekend. Kat's done a bit of research before this show. He's only got a fine. So that says to me Casey McLean's actually been dropped from the side here, which will be really interesting. When Brian Toto returns, which I think will be in the next 2 weeks, when Toto returns, he'll obviously come back on the wing. So I wonder what they'll do here. Dare I say, I think if Casey McLean's been dropped, that means there's a very good chance they will move Paul Alamotti into the centres or move Tom Jenkins into the centres. I don't think Garner will be the long-term option there. I think this dropping of Casey McLean has been a little bit overdue. I would have done it a few weeks ago. So a really interesting watch there. A few guys playing for a jersey out there at the Penny Panthers. For the Bronx, not much to talk about with their side. Willison remains on one edge, Ricky on the other. Not much else to touch on there with the Broncos, though. Last game of Magic Round, Cat. What do we got?
Last game, this will round out all of the Magic Round action. We have Sunday, 6:25 p.m, the Storm taking on the Raiders.
Now, forgive me, and I hope I haven't made any mistakes here, but I don't think there are any changes to these sides. Nelson Asafa-Solomona has been named on the extended, but he has for the last week or two. I don't think there are any other major changes to these two sides. I think they're pretty much running out as they did last week. Two teams getting a W last weekend. So, yeah, not much doing on those team lists as I just scan over them one last time, but I'm pretty sure they are essentially the same. Grant Anderson, he'll line up in the centres. I guess Sua Farlongo, he obviously went off with the HIA the other night. Looks like he is sweet to go. The halves remain the same. The edges percentages are the same. Yeah, no real changes for both those teams there. And of course, the Manly Seagulls, they have the bye this weekend for Magic Round. It's going to be a fantastic weekend, guys. If you are up there in Brisbane, you see us, make sure you come and say hi, come and have a beer, come and tell a few lies. We'll be up there all weekend having a great time. So make sure you come and find us. Mostly at the Caxton Hotel for me. I think Kat's going to be at a few games. Keep an eye out for her at the games and whatnot. But it is going to be fantastic. If you are coming to your first Magic Round, make sure you take it all in because it is a brilliant few days and we can't wait to see you up there.